Hello web designers and developers, this is Matthew. Welcome to Blue Rim Design. Today we're going to be taking a look at creating a new project in React and using SCSS in it. So just to give you guys a little bit of an update, here in the newer version of React, we no longer, it's a lot easier to get SCSS up and running on our projects. It used to be that we'd have to do some severe configuration. Well, it wasn't severe. React still makes it super easy, but suffice it to say that it's a lot easier now to get SCSS up and running in your new React projects. So to do that, I have an article set up for you if you'd like to follow along with the article. It is on bluerimdesign.com. It is how to easily set up SCSS in React. You can go ahead and check it out there. It has instructions as far as the commands go, and just a little bit of dialogue and some extra resources. But if you're unfamiliar with Sass and React, if those do not make sense, quickly here I'm just going to navigate to the React website. It gives a great description of what React is, and it has all the documentation for learning React. React is something, I think, if you have any JavaScript experience, it's something that you can very easily learn on your own. And just get started with. If you have a gist of what it actually is, it's pretty simple. So using this resource can help you learn it. And a little bit about Sass. Of course, by Sass I mean SCSS. There are two different flavors. There's SASS, which is a little bit older, and then there's SCSS, which is a little bit newer, a little bit closer to normal CSS, which is that's primarily what I've used in my career, and also what we will be using here on this channel is the SCSS version. Along with that, to get those two running and on our computers, the easiest way is to use Node.js. Node.js is JavaScript, but for the back end. There's many tutorials and resources out there on how to actually download it. The easiest way is just come here to the website and download 10.1.6 or 12.3. There's differences in that, whereas version 10 is the long-standing stable version, so it's going to be supported for a while. And then there's also just kind of the newest features. There might be bugs, who knows, in the 12.3. So make your choice to download either of those, and we can go ahead and get started. Alright, now that we have Node.js installed, we have our text editor up, we're going to go ahead and start installing our project and installing SCSS on top of it. So you can do this in any command line that you have on your computer. I'm choosing to use it with Visual Studio Code because it has a built-in terminal. It makes it pretty easy to get projects up and running. So if you're following along with me in Visual Studio Code, great. If not, that's totally fine too. So I've got a new window open. I'm navigated to the folder where I want to download this new project. I'm going to use Control tilde to toggle my terminal. And in here, I'm just going to add in a really simple command, npx create React app. And then I'm just going to give it the name of my project, which is SCSS React Practice. Actually, I'm just going to shorten it down to SCSS Practice. So we're going to be going ahead and creating that React project, and once that's done, we're going to go ahead and install SCSS. Alright, we now have our new app created with React all set up inside of it for us using that create React app command. I'm going to go ahead and clear the terminal using CLS, and now we're going to want to dive into that new project that we just created. So we're going to use the cd command to do that, and now we're just going to use npm to install development dependency called Node Sass. So technically we're not just installing SCSS, we're also installing the capability to process normal SCSS. So if you're into that kind of thing, then this is a great solution for you as well. I'm going to go ahead and skip to where the installation finishes. Feel free to pause the video until you have finished installing. Alright, so our node SCSS has been installed. While it was installing, I just created a new directory inside of our source code where I added a styles folder, and I just added a couple of extra files for SCSS that we're going to import into our main SCSS file, and we're going to use these imports to style our app a little bit, just kind of as an example. So alerts is actually completely blank. Buttons, we do have a button class where we are using a variable that's been specified in config. And so we're just going to go ahead and first test right now that the app works without really implementing the SCSS. npm start command. Alright, so we do have our React server up and running. It's working great, just with the default things. So we're just going to come into app here and delete all of the innards. Save. Let's go back to our file. Alright, still compiling. Taking a while today. Alright, and we have pretty much just a blank blank document here, and we don't have any errors, so let's continue. Let's go ahead and add a button, the class name of button. Say this is my button, and we'll go ahead and save. Head back over to our compiling document, and we have a button here in the middle, and it's not styled or anything. Then that's because we haven't included those Sass partials into main SCSS file. So we're going to head back to our source here, and come to app here, and I'm just going to delete all of this. We're going to use the, actually before I do that, I'm going to convert app.css to app.scss. We're going to get an error, obviously, and just replace that there, and we're back to just warnings, so we're good. Now come back to our main app folder, and we're going to import styles config. Also going to import styles, but button. Oh my goodness. Alright, whatever, buttons imported. And just for the sake of an example, we'll import our alerts as well. So importing files is one of my absolute favorite features in Sass, and it's one reason that I use it so much. So highly recommend that you look into Sass so that you can learn more about it. Alright, and now that we have our button, or those different styles imported, we have our button and it is styled. So we can confirm that SCSS is actually working in here, and we are importing just that SCSS file, and React is taking care of it. All of the packages that we've installed are working together harmoniously to render SCSS. So now you have a really easy way to implement SCSS in your project. Sorry for the length of the video, this really could be done a lot quicker. But at the same time, thank you for watching, and if you liked the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment about what your experience with SCSS has been. Do you think it's something that's still a viable solution? Do you think it's something that should be continued to be used? Are you against it? What's your stance on it? Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.